Well, that was entertaining game, not the sharpest from both sides. Both teams probably with an eye on their vacation. The Edmonton Oilers fall 5-4 at the hands of the Colorado Avalanche and head into the break with a 34-17 and 4 record. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the GCL Diesel Oil Stream postgame show. Tom Gazzola, Hernan, Salas with you. Matt Kassian, our game analyst, will be joining us shortly. Text us, 780-218-9999. Get into the nasty chat, because I feel like it's going to get nasty on this Friday night, and I'm looking forward to it. Bring it on. Should be a good one. Lots to discuss about this game. Of course, GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. Sloppy street hockey game, back and forth. The Oilers chasing it all night long. Good gumption to fight back, but man, they shot themselves in the foot big time. I will say this to begin the show, because I am usually accused of being a Stuart Skinner apologizer. He was not good tonight. And those first 2 goals were bad. And he needed to be better, and that was the right call, putting Calvin Pickard in to start the second period. Skinner allowing 3 goals on 12 shots. Let me verify that, because they took a couple of shots away in the intermission. I know that they tinkered with the shot clock. Officially, it is 3 goals on 12 shots for Stu Skinner. Calvin Pickard, 17 saves on 19 shots. All right, sloppy game, sloppy loss for the Oilers. They have their 2-game winning streak snapped, and they go into the break probably wanting to fix some things in their game. Both teams look like they're a little bit tired, too. Maybe that's what led to a lot of the sloppiness, probably what led to a lot of the sloppiness. So let's get to the Latino Heat. Hernan, Salas, Nancito, what say you?
What up, dog? Oh,
what up,
mama? I mean, there's not much to get to, is there?
A lot to get to.
Okay.
Oh, baby.
I agree with you. Stuart Skinner, not good. And on the third goal, it's a late change. Darnell can't get there. It's Lekkonen's in all alone, sure. But the first one's a screen, but you got to fight through that. And the second one, I didn't like it. Even though Makar was left wide open, all 5 guys forget about him. But it's not like
hit his glove.
Yeah, it's not like it was backdoor. Yeah. It wasn't like it was an unreal shot. Those are 2 you have to have in my eyes. And listen, look at his reaction after the first 2 goals. He's pretty much telling us he's pretty upset with himself, because his reaction was pretty noticeable. Yeah, you usually don't see a lot of goalies kind of give those reactions. I'm a little surprised Stuart Skinner did it on both goals. But like you said, I thought it was the right call to go to Pickard. I'm surprised, because he usually lets him play through it. And it was a close game, but that goes to show you what the coach thought of the first period. Now, he's not the only one. Tom, there's a trend here with the Edmonton Oilers. The PK outside of the 5-on-3, great job. That would have been the turning point of the game if they won, right? Yep. But they're leaking. The first unit, power play, get out of town. Take the 2 weeks off, come back refreshed, because they've run out of ideas. All it is Connor skating around looking for Draisaitl. It just looked off, and I think Louis alluded to it. He said they just don't look connected right now, and I think the power play goal came from the second unit. And
yes,
the other part I'm a little concerned about this week, man, are the Oilers sloppy in their own end again. It's like October all over again. They're giving grade A chance after grade A chance after grade A chance. But all in all, Bouchard, I mean, can't make that play. Good read, too, by Makar. Draisaitl's not, I'm not asking him to defend it, but he doesn't defend it very well. Kind of just flies by. Hell of a finish by Makar. But, yeah, lots not to like about this game. I like the pushback. Corey Perry keeps impressing. I mean, what a stud at his age. Draisaitl is just unreal, but I know you want to get to the winning goal, Tom. You got some things you want to say about that, but all in all, goaltending not good enough. Bouchard can't make that play. And the Oilers as a whole, Tom, very, very loose defensively.
Very sloppy, very loose, poor decision-making, giving away grade A chances. Even defending, I'm watching this Martin Necas goal on the game winner. It started with a terrible turnover, bad puck management in the Avs zone. It was Zach Hyman, I believe, who made that pass, and The Avs take it the other way. You get the first save from Pickard, and 3 Oilers collapse almost to the goal line, like right on top of Pickard and just to the left of him, and nobody picks up Necas. And he just, like, seriously, it was like a street hockey goal, man. Like, too easy, just tucks it home. And then the Oilers. The other thing, too, one other thing, like the fact that the Avs killed like 20 to 25 seconds on the clock in the corner, just holding the puck. You can't let that happen. I know you're chasing. I know the Avs are trying to dig in and hang on, but you have to outman them. Yeah. You have an extra man on the ice. You need to like knock their guy over or physically remove him from hanging onto the puck. And the Oilers didn't. It was 2-on-2 in the corner. And then finally, I think with like 12 seconds left, McDavid slid down, poked at it like everyone else, and they poked at it, and then the Avs kind of tucked it back along the wall. That wasn't the reason why the Oilers lost, but I think it kind of shows you where Edmonton was emotionally, energy-wise, physically. It wasn't there. It wasn't there. Like, you're watching these guys hold it on the wall for 20 seconds, and you're not overpowering them and outmatching them, outmanning them when you have literally an extra guy on the ice, I think is very indicative of how they played as a whole, on top of the giveaways, on top of the poor goaltending, on top of the bad defensive play in their own zone. Lots of those little things tonight, Hernan, were not up to snuff.
No, and I made a mistake. There was 2 power play goals. First unit did get one, but I thought for the most of the night they were pretty disconnected on that. And good point on that. On the 5th goal, the 3 guys, it's a 2-on-1, and then 2 guys follow back, but they all just focus in on the 2 guys that were on the 2-on-1. And Necas is just, it's like you said, it was wide open. Like that's probably one of the easiest goals he's going to score, and a great job. And when you look at it, listen, I know you take plus minus with a grain of salt. I understand that. I think we all do. Yeah. But your top line of McDavid and Hyman, they can't be -3 on the night. No. They can't, because then a lot of guys ride the pine and do this, but that's not good enough. And like you said, and I know a lot of people on Twitter, media and fans alike, we're both saying it. It seems like a lot of these guys have one foot in Cabo.
They do.
They're getting ready to. Yeah, and it's human nature.
Both teams, by the way.
100%. It's human nature. These guys are not robots. They are humans. So it's fair to say that it truly is. But at the end of the day, those guys got to be a lot better. And the good thing is, I like Coach polling the goalie. He wasn't happy with his performance. You can tell he wasn't happy with his own performance. And after the Bouchard giveaway, guys, I don't know if you noticed, but he missed, I think, 1 or 2 regular 5-on-5 shifts after that.
That was such a bad turnover, man. That's again, it feeds into the, okay, are you there in the moment, or are you thinking of margaritas on the beach and like feeling little fishies over your toes as you wade through the water? Like that's a sign. And listen, Bouchard's not the only one. Talk about Hyman, good veteran player, 50 goal scorer, doing it in the dying minutes of the game when you're tied at 4. You've been scraping your way back into it. You've got some good gutsy efforts from some veterans. Corey Perry playing good. I actually thought the 3rd and 4th lines were okay at times tonight. And Matthias Janmark was a dog on a bone. And he's a guy that's going to be shoveling snow in Edmonton next week. I'm kidding. He's probably going somewhere very warm. But I'm just like, at least he remembered he's got 20 minutes left to play, or he had 60 minutes left to play at the start. He was a guy that I thought gave a good effort. I was just using him as a good example. But yeah, man, like, and I will reiterate, I thought Colorado was equally sloppy. I didn't think Mackenzie Blackwood was that good in net either. He let in some bad goals.
He would want back.
Yeah, and the Avs, I think, can be, pegged for being guilty of thinking ahead and past this game a little bit too. But at the end of the day, Nathan MacKinnon, you gave him opportunities. He torched Edmonton for 4 points tonight. He wants that scoring race. And don't get me wrong, Draisaitl had a couple of nice goals. He wants it too. But MacKinnon, He was on another level tonight, and you give Makar some chances. That's what you're going to get, man. You're playing with fire when you do stuff like that. So the Oilers end up losing 5-4 to the Avs. Edmonton did win the season series. They beat the Avs twice going into this one. And I think Colorado showed us that they're not going anywhere. They're still a good team, even though they're going through a massive shift in the team and the organization after trading away Mikko Rantanen. But Martin Necas is probably the most popular guy in the room right now, and that's a great way to endear yourself to your new team by picking up a big goal and doing it in a big game before the break.
Makar was phenomenal tonight, man. Holy smokes, 3 points plus 2, 29 minutes. And those are not easy minutes he's playing, Tom. I just want to get to one on the Nasty Chat from our guy, our fearless leader, but I'm scrolling back, way back. Here he goes. From Dustin Nielsen. And I wanted to ask you and Cass about this too, because, and it's not just Dusty. A lot of people are saying, what's up with 97? Boys, 97 has 17 points in his last 15 games and is just plus 2 over that stretch. What is up with that? Now, this week, I think we gave him a bit of a pass because we knew all these guys were fighting an illness, and he missed the skills thing over the weekend because he was sick. But Tom, I think that's a fair question. McDavid's McDavid. Don't get me wrong, right? Like he's brilliant at times and all, but do you see that he's a little off as of late? Is that a fair assessment?
I guess so. Like I'd see what everybody else is seeing. I'm assuming he was ill. I don't know what the ramifications or the lingering effects might still be from that illness. He's been bad in his own zone, like defensively. On what was it? Was it the Makar goal where he tried to backtrack? He kind of waved his stick at it. On one of those goals where he was just kind of waving. There was a goal a couple of nights ago, I think in St. Louis, the one that everyone was talking about, Stu Skinner's lateral movement when Joaquin went on your show and was like, guys, how the hell are you going to save that one when the guy makes a great Buchnevich over to, was it Robert Thomas, and Stu was, completely out of it, and Thomas blasts it wide and they got really lucky. I think that was McDavid that collapsed on that one too. So maybe he's not sharp. Maybe he's still feeling it from that cold. But you're right. He hasn't been peak McDavid. No. Do I think he'll get back to peak McDavid? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, no, it's just it's an interesting little thing here, and maybe this break will not for him, but I mean it's technically 4 more games if you go all the way. He's playing with some absolute studs, all-star team if you may, with the Team Canada. So it's interesting, and I brought up the 2-on-1 there, shorthanded. Makar does a great move, don't get me wrong, but he does a flyby.
That's the one.
Yeah, he's not a defender. I get that, but man, some of the efforts on these goals again weren't very good. And I know when we do highlights, lowlights, every time it's a low light, and a lot of the goals this year against the Oilers, it's when all 5 guys are just puck watching. And that's what happened on the Makar one. That's what happened on the winning goal when it was only 3 against 2. And Necas kind of just slips in from behind. And it's unfortunate because, like you said, both teams probably not at their best, probably not a game they want to watch a lot of film on, but they found a way on back-to-back nights. And I think that's what frustrates Oilers fans tonight, Tom.
Understandably so. All right, text us, 780-218-9999. I see a lot of texts. I do want to get to a whole bunch of them. Share your thoughts on the Oilers' 5-4 loss to the Colorado Avalanche going into the Four Nations face-off break, and get into the nasty chat as well. Hit that thumbs up button. We appreciate it. Lots of viewers on the live chat, which is great. And then people listening on their way home on iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, of course, EdmontonSportsTalk.com's audio player, Amazon Music, Apple Music, all the good stuff. And hopefully we can make your ride home a little bit more entertaining. I don't think we're going to cheer you up because we need to talk about some issues, but we'll keep you entertained as you make your way home on this Friday night. Stay warm out there. It's getting chilly again. Not as bad as a couple of nights ago, but still kind of cold. Let's get to the scoring summary and game stats from this one, and then Matty Kassian will be joining us shortly. I know Cass was at an event tonight that I think it was a watch party event where he was featured there, and he'll be making his way back and hopping on here. Yes, we'll also be joined by Reid Wilkins a bit later on in the show. Okay, let's go to that scoring summary. In the first period, 9:48 in. On a Avalanche power play, Nathan MacKinnon from Cale Makar and Arturi Lehkonen. McKinnon's 21st. I know it was a sneaky little snapshot, and I know he uses defensemen and players as they're making their way across the creases screens, but I thought that was a really bad goal. I did not like it one bit. Stu Skinner didn't like it. Pretty sure 18,347 people hated that one, and the Avs had the lead. However, shortly after that, 59 seconds, it's Leon Draisaitl on the power play, just 6 seconds into the man advantage for the Oilers. Draisaitl with a great one-timer off of Ryan Nugent-Hopkins' feed, and Evan Bouchard, the secondary helper, were knotted up at 1. However, it would be Cale Makar who would get one. This was not great. Makar's goal, bad giveaway at 11:46. Nathan McKinnon and Devon Toews, the assists on Makar's 21st. Man, that guy is so good. But the Oilers would reply shortly after. Corey Perry, his 11th of the year from Adam Henrique and Kasperi Kapanen, gets his own rebound. That's when I was talking about Mackenzie Blackwood. It was kind of a flutter one-timer, and Blackwood couldn't hang on. The rebound goes in front, and Perry ends up banging home the garbage for his 11th of the season. But before the period would be up, sloppy defense, and a nice feed from McKinnon over to Lehkonen. He one-times it past Stu Skinner to give the Avs the 3-2 lead. Lehkonen, 23 goals on the season. Absolutely feasting playing with Nate McKinnon. McKinnon now up to 65 assists after that goal. Devon Toews, his 21st helper of the year. 3-2 Avs after 1. In the middle frame, the Avs add to the lead. Here's the shorty. Pardon me. Yeah, that first Makar goal was the one that went off of Stu's glove. Didn't like that one either. That was a bad goal. So here's the shorty where Makar off a terrible turnover by Evan Bouchard and the flyby by McDavid. He tucks home his second of the night, 22nd of the year from Parker Kelly to make it 4-2 for the Avs at 6:39. Just goes roof daddy on Calvin Pickard. I didn't think Pickard really even moved on that one. I know it's Makar, and he's an excellent goal scorer for a defenseman, just an excellent goal scorer as a hockey player in general. 4-2 at that point. But the Oilers respond shortly after, once again, at 7:48. Who else? Corey Perry. He gets it done. Power play 2 getting out there because power play 1 not connected, like Hernan was talking about and mentioning what Louis was saying on the broadcast. Perry's 12th of the year. And he gets the assist from Jeff Skinner and Matthias Ekholm, 4-3 at that point. And the Oilers would get the equalizer. Great individual effort by Leon Draisaitl. Off a feed from Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Takes the first shot, goes in, finds the rebound, puts it bar down on Mackenzie Blackwood for his 40th, second of the night at 15:59. We're knotted up at 2 after 2. And in that third period, the Oilers get a little sloppy. Bad turnover by Hyman in the Avs zone, goes into the middle. Avs take it back the other way. Sloppy on the defensive side of things. Everybody, 3 guys collapsing right around the goal line around Calvin Pickard. And then it's Nathan McKinnon finding a wide open Martin Necas. And he bangs it home for his 20th of the year. Way too easy. Pickard, I know he didn't really do much on that one, but he had no chance. Nate just could have stopped and dusted it off if he wanted to. That's how sloppy the Oilers were on this goal. That goal coming at 15:38. The Oilers would try to get the equalizer. No can do. Final shots on goal tonight, 31-27 in favor of the Avs. Face-offs, the Avs win that battle 50.8 to 49.2%. Power play for the Oilers, 2 for 4. That's good. PK starting off bad. Edmonton had given up 5 straight goals on 5 straight penalty kills, and then they cleaned it up. They got that 5-on-3 that they took care of. It was, a minute 24 of 5-on-3 for the Avs. The Oilers managed to take care of that. So the penalty kill goes 4 for 5. Hits officially 15 for the Avs, 9 for the Oilers. Block shots 19 for the Avs, 12 for the Oilers. Giveaways, 17 for Edmonton, 11 for Colorado. Takeaways, just 3 for Colorado, 1 for Edmonton. Your final score, 5-4. I think Matt Kassian is just about ready to go. Before we get to Cass, I will do the Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy Turning Point of the game in this one. At Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy, we treat you like the pros. Our multidisciplinary team includes sports medicine physicians, along with highly skilled physiotherapists, strength and conditioning coaches, and massage therapists. If you have a nagging pain you'd like to see go away, book your consultation today at www.advantagesportsmed.ca. And if that nagging pain is Oilers defensive lapses, headaches, and goaltending headaches, I don't think they can help you. But if you have physical ailments, Advantage Sports Med is your go-to destination. I will say right before the game-winning goal, which came at 15:38 of the third period, Zach Hyman, usually sure-handed, usually making the smart play, puts one into the middle, nobody home except for the Avs. They take it back the other way. 3 Oilers collapse around Pickard. I'm saying it for the third or fourth time already tonight. And Nathan McKinnon scoops up the loose puck, finds Martin Necas. He bangs it home. There's your game-winning goal. 5-4 Colorado. That is your Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy turning point of the game. Go to www.advantagesportsmed.ca. Let's bring in the big man, Matt Kassian, as we get into the breakdown, brought to you as always by South Fort Chev. Reserve your 2025 Equinox Trax and Traverse now. They will not last long. They've also got the best discounts on 2025 Silverados and won't be beat. See dealer for details, www.southfortchev.com. Cass, we were talking about Hawaii as point number 3 on Game Changers. Guess what, Cass? Both teams seemed like they were halfway to Hawaii by the third period. Unmute, Cass. Unmute.
Or maybe it's...
There we go. Hold on. Oh, you got him?
There we go. We got it.
All right.
We got it. It was sloppy, but boy, was that entertaining at the same time.
Yes.
It was super entertaining. What a fun game to watch. Too bad with the loss. But yeah, I mean, there certainly was some guys that had one foot on the plane to wherever they're trying to go. There were some mistakes. It was definitely not a playoff caliber execution type of game by both the Colorado Avalanche and the Edmonton Oilers, but it was an entertaining one. Some guys with some real off nights that didn't play well, and some guys that just kind of kept plugging along that I thought played pretty strongly for the Edmonton Oilers. But overall, guys, McKinnon's really good. So is Makar. Those guys they're really good, and it showed tonight. Like they won the Colorado Avalanche that hockey game, and the Edmonton Oilers kind of did it to themselves at the same time. They kind of said, "Here you go, you have it, you take it. You get 2 points. We're gonna go hang out on the beach." Disappointing ultimately night with the loss, but an entertaining game overall.
Let's go to some text here to tee this bad boy up. EA says, sorry, guys, but we're talking about goaltending. Bouchard and McDavid being completely invisible against McKinnon. LB had texted in earlier, says, can't wait to hear how the experts at EST are going to defend Skinner and Bouchard in this one. LB. Well, LB, we absolutely shredded them in the first 15 minutes. So I hope you like the way we defended them tonight. So come on, man.
And I'm not going to defend them either. Guys, this is what people, and the people that rip on me all the time for defending Skinner is like, I defend him when it's, in my opinion, appropriate to do so because he got hung out to dry and didn't get much help. He wasn't good tonight.
No,
he wasn't good tonight.
Bad.
The decision to put Pickard in the second period was 100% the right decision. Yes, you should have pulled him, and you did. McDavid wasn't very good tonight. Hyman, not great tonight.
Nope.
So I don't, and Bouchard. So I guess he was the other one. Yeah, Bouchard, not very good tonight either. Now I will defend him overall. He's still going to get paid. He's going to get paid a lot, and you're going to have to be fine with that. And I'm going to defend overall of the course of the season that he does bring you way more good than bad, even with the big mistakes. Mm-hmm. But tonight, he didn't bring you more good than bad tonight. He brought you more bad than good tonight. He wasn't very good tonight. He wasn't.
Sorry, I just think the problem is that guys have bad games and it's the end of the world here. It's like trade them, go get John Gibson. trade Evan Bouchard for Noah Dobson. I don't know where this is coming from, but it's
I've seen that one today.
Yeah, it's like players have bad games.
Yeah.
Go look at the other best teams in the league, and they have off games too. But like here, it's either they're the greatest players or ship them out of town. And I get it.
Yeah.
And we've all admitted on this show, because Chief Andy's calling me out too, saying, "Oh, you're pretty quiet." No, you must have missed the first 10 minutes because we were pretty harsh on this team and on Stuart Skinner and on Evan Bouchard. But guys, like we break these games down one by one. And I think people get upset that when we defend Skinner for one game, it's like we're in love with him. But no, like he wasn't good tonight. Plain and simple.
I'm in love with him.
Yeah, maybe Tommy is.
Yeah, bro love, like he's a very good young man. But so there's an appreciation there. But when he plays like shit, we can tell people he played like shit, like he did tonight. Simple as that. He knows it. Those first 2 goals sucked.
Yep.
Simple.
Third one was pretty nice.
Yeah, that was a nice shot.
That was really nice. But the first 2, no, they shouldn't go in. They were. Yeah.
There we go.
He was bad. He was bad. He should have got pulled, and he did. I was in full favor of the pull. I actually was surprised they didn't pull him after the third one.
Same. I was looking at the bench, no movement from Calvin, and then I was like, okay, well, I guess they're going to let Stu finish this up. And then when Pickard was in for the start of the second, I'm like, yeah, makes sense. So he was not good tonight, guys. Absolutely. And we're fully and readily admitting that. So LB and others that are saying, you guys are going to defend them tonight. No, how can you? Those were bad goals. Bouchard making bad mistakes. Hyman making bad mistakes. McDavid not really looking completely McDavid-like. Totally valid tonight. Let's go to Anthony on Long Island. Says, I don't know. Maybe it's me, but McDavid overall looked a tick off so far this season. Enjoy the break, boys. We talked a little bit about McDavid there, Cass. What are you seeing from him? I know we mentioned perhaps lingering effects from an illness. He's not going to use that as an excuse. That's been going around the room, the sickness. That's legit. So, maybe he's not supernova, but what are you seeing from Connor lately or not seeing?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's still got 71 points. He's still tied for 4th in the league in terms of scoring. That's pretty good. And yes, there maybe have been some times this year where he hasn't gone quite as supernova, but it was an off night for him. It just was. He did not have it tonight, and I don't think it was from a lack of trying. There was a few times you could see he had some intensity with the puck on a stick in the offensive zone where he really wanted to make something happen, but he just couldn't. It was just an off night for him. There could be lingering effects of that, but hey, the best players in the world, they're not going to be at a 10 every single night. Now, some of them have the capacity, and McDavid certainly does, to be at that level for a really long period of time. We've seen that from Draisaitl. I can't remember the last game where we went, ooh, that wasn't a great night for Draisaitl. And even then with McDavid, this is the first night in a while where I was like, ooh, like he's not feeling it tonight. Like it's not his night. He's fighting the puck a little bit. Can't seem to find seams. Can't seem to, like, the decisions he's making with the puck aren't on par for typical for him, like where he's making worse decisions than usual with the puck, trying to force some plays on the power play where you're just like, that's not it. I think you could see frustration too, body language wise, between the whistles with him as well, where it's like he knew he wasn't feeling it and there was some frustration there. I do not worry in the slightest bit about Connor McDavid and his ability to be the best player in the world. So yes, it was an off night for him. Do not worry. Do not worry. At least we haven't seen, as far as I have seen, any trade McDavid requests in the nasty
thank
chat
God.
yet. So
thank God.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness for that.
I am seeing in the nasty chat the Oilers would be screwed without Draisaitl. He's having a great season. He honestly is he has really stepped up and been the driver, maybe even more than Connor this year. I mean, the way he's playing is just on a different level. Easy E, I think, makes a good point, and I'm going to wholeheartedly endorse this statement. Everyone needs to panic. It's the only solution. Joking. Easy for the laugh. I appreciate it.
When those first 2 goals went in, boys, I was like, oh boy.
Yeah, same.
I was already getting emotionally ready for what was going to come. And
I knew it.
Because even if they won, Cass, we'd still be talking about the same.
We'd still be talking about it. I knew after that first one, I'm like, there's the topic for the post-game show. But in this instance, it actually was. It's a reasonable topic for the post-game show to say that really hurt them. That was a struggle, because it was. Now they battled back in the game. Ultimately they overcame Stuart Skinner's goaltending, and they lost it because they turned over too many pucks in key situations. Like mental mistakes cost them tonight. So it was more than just Stuart Skinner. But yeah, he wasn't very good. But it was Evan Bouchard and it was Zach Hyman, who had a rough night as well.
Yep.
I guess on the positive, another solid game for Jeff Skinner. But boys, how about Corey Perry? 12 goals on February 7th. Who had this on their bingo card?
Not me.
He signed in the offseason.
Not me. Nope.
He's been great, man.
He has been great. Like just finding a way around the net. Like it was great. Yeah. Yeah. And great for Skinner too. I mean, we didn't know, I couldn't tell at first if it was Skinner or Perry that got it, because they were both around there, but good for Jeff Skinner also, as you guys just mentioned, to kind of keep on that wagon. So it's, if we're looking for things that are positive, that's a huge one. And the aforementioned Corey Perry too, like just finding ways, which is great. Just that old man energy somehow around the net, finding a way. I love it.
There was definitely some stank on those first 2 goals against, but like you said, the resiliency from the Oilers, the old man, Corey Perry, doing one for the guys born in the mid 80s. Respect to Corey Perry on that one. Cass, like if you are the coaching staff, and listen, you got 2 full weeks before your next game, are you saving any of the highlights from this game, or is it just, okay, this one is gone, so we're coming back a couple days before the break is over, and we're just going to focus on the stretch drive? Like, how are they utilizing this game, or are they just saying, screw this, we're off to somewhere tropical as well?
Yeah. Well, this is what's going to happen, is they're not getting ready to leave right now. I'm pretty sure Knobloch has pulled Evan Bouchard aside into his the coach's office, and he's yelling at him still, and has been for the last 25, 30 minutes. He's probably just screaming. He has all the clips pulled up, and he's just hitting repeat on that power play turnover over and over, and he's yelling at him. And while he's doing that, Glenn Gulletson is going into Bouchard's locker, and he's cutting up his passport. That's what's happening.
I think that's illegal, but
it's probably what's happening.
Yeah. No, they're gonna, buddy.
Right? No, they're flushing it. Like you're flushing it. They would have came in and said, "Hey guys, really good job up to this point. Disappointed with the loss tonight. Have fun, be safe." That's it. They're not going to do this. They're not going to pull. Now, when they come back, is there going to be some video they pull and talk about? Yeah, absolutely. Of course there is, to start to prep. But even more, that's going to be the prep for not the Colorado game, but for the games that you're about to play coming out of the break. So, they're as a coaching staff, as a management team, you're on vacation now too, at least for a couple days before you have to start making some more decisions and thinking through things. But you're going to take a couple days and separate from it a little bit and not overly think about this game, which maybe people don't like to hear, but hey, they got to go on vacation too.
Yeah.
The Nazis are loving Cass's idea of pulling his passport. No trip for you.
Just don't cut it up. Just hide it.
Just hide it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We lost it. Yeah.
It's gone. Find it, Evan. I'm sorry. Are you sure you even had a passport? Okay, let's go back into the inbox. 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat as well. The Oilers lose 5-4 in a sloppy one to the Colorado Avalanche. The Oilers will hold down first spot in the Pacific at 72 points. 34-17-4 is the record. 5-4-1 in the last 10. Vegas does play Boston tomorrow. But the Oilers, even if the Golden Knights win, have the tiebreak. Colorado has already played 55 games, so the Oilers with the game in hand. Let's get to a couple messages here. Maclemeck says, tough loss, competitive outing for both teams. Avs wanted it more despite playing back-to-back nights. Dry is a beast, says Maclemeck. This text says, McDavid skates fast to open ice and has no interest in going to the hard places. I would think we could get a second-line power center, top 4D, and a solid goalie for McDavid. There it is, Hernan. There it is. You called it. Someone with the McDavid trade.
Gee, what are we doing?
Now, is that, like, I hope that's facetious.
Are we into the wobblies?
Just tell me that's facetious.
Well, it's from the 204 area code. We'll have to look that up.
Look it up right now for you.
Look it up, and I'm going to reread this one. McDavid skates fast, all caps, to open ice, all caps, and has no interest in going to the hard places. I would think we could get a second-line power center, top 4D, and a solid goalie for McDavid. Does Bowman have the balls? Where's that out of?
Stop.
Where's it from? Where's it from? 204 area code.
Like, we shouldn't even give this the time. Because that just is going to incentivize other people to be like, they're going to talk about it. It's going to be funny. And
no, we're not going to talk about it. We're going to mock it.
204 is Manitoba, so they're trolling us.
It's got to be a troll. Because that's
Winnipeggers.
You don't even have an airport.
Coop sent us the AI summary, the chat summary for this
Read
game.
it.
Viewers are analyzing the Oilers' recent performance with mixed emotions on the team's goaltending and overall play. Some are frustrated with the team's lack of productivity, while others are more optimistic about the team's chances of success in the future.
That's adorable.
I love those things.
Those are great. The little synopsis on the nasty chat. Okay, Deaky Sparks getting in there, says, had to tune in. Figured this should get spicy. Let's just remember Skinner's salary and Dallas last year's playoffs. But vamos, come for the craziness. Yeah, it's been, we've had some fun with it. People obviously not happy, and rightly so. The Oilers not good on this night. They still managed to almost get a point, but they blew it with the stupid play and bad defense. They lose. Road Dog Trap says 3 goals on 11 shots by Skinner. Ended up being 12, by the way. Enough is enough with this from him. The Oilers need an upgrade in goal. It ain't happening. It ain't happening.
Tommy, you know more than all of us. It ain't happening. This is Skinner.
It ain't happening.
It's not. It's not. Like what? Like, show me since Halloween. So the whole team was bad. Start of the year. Penalty killing 50%. Power play abysmal.
Yes.
Defensive zone coverage, brutal. Goaltending, not very good. Since Halloween. So let's just go November, December, January up until now. How do Stuart Skinner's numbers measure against everyone else in the league, goaltending standpoint?
I think he was right up there.
Yeah.
Wasn't he not like one of the top goalies in the league
he's in the top 5, I believe.
Mid-November?
Yep. And so it's like, again, he was bad tonight. But to say his body of work the last couple of months has been brutal and it's this every single time is just not true. They're not trading for a goalie. They're like, everyone's like, Gibson, trade for Gibson. Not going to happen. These are your goaltenders. And they generally have done a really good job. Tonight, Stuart Skinner didn't. But generally, they've been pretty good. But you're not trading. No. Will they trade for, if they can, a third-line center or a depth player that plays with an edge? Very likely. Will they trade for another defenseman? Possibly.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Like, it's the 1 in a million chance, right? That they trade for a goaltender, right?
Not
so you're
happen.
saying there's a chance. Like, of course they could. It's not going to happen.
It would take an injury. That's where it would happen.
Only way.
Okay, so I went back to November 9th until today after tonight's loss. Stu Skinner, guys, 17-7, 3 overtime losses, 908 save percentage, 249 GAA. The only guys ahead of him, I just got it under wins. So Hellebuck in that time is 124, Ottinger's 120, Logan Thompson's 118, Wall 18, Blackwood 17, Vasilevsky 17, Skinner 17, and Merzlikins, who's helping the Jackets stay in the mix. Save percentage-wise in that time frame, if I can get it to go back here. Skinner, well, it's got every goalie in here, so I don't have like a minimum on it, but pretty good still. Pretty good. What say you to that?
Trade him, bring Gibson in.
Of course. Yeah, I thought so. 780-218-9999. Bad Billy getting in there. Bad Billy says, boys, actually an entertaining game if you like goals. Some guys were already on vacation and stunk. They were obvious. Makar's on another level on defense. Dry a beast, as is McKinnon. Do the players get the entire time off or only this next week, then practice? Cass, I think you have a better answer than I would. They usually come back like a day or two before, don't they?
It's a couple days before, I believe. It's not the entire 2 weeks. I think they get about a week and a half. Yeah. And the check-in is 2 or 3 days before that first game. So they'll have like 2 or 3 skates before.
Yeah. I do know like the Christmas break, it's a little bit different where guys can catch up with the team at whatever destination they're at. So if they're on the road, they can meet there. But this one, like you said, it's a little bit different. All right, 780-218-9999. Nanso, do we have any audio to get to yet?
Just getting to work on it now. We'll have Corey Perry up first. Give you about 2 minutes.
Okay, let's get to a few more texts here. Let's start with Shaggy in St. Albert. Says the usual suspects, Skinner with the stinker first period, Bouchard with a patented Bouch blunder on that shorthanded goal. McDavid was least shining star of either team, non-factor. McDavid looked like fourth liner compared to McKinnon. Oilers once again with a sloppy defensive game. Don't blame on Pickard on either of the 2 goals. Blame Skinner for at least 2 of his. Oilers, as usual, find a way to lose. No heart at all in those last 15 seconds. Just let Avs keep it in the corner. Thanks, Skinner and Bouchard, for being you. Now I will be grumpy for the whole week. Shaggy in St. Albert.
Shaggy.
Cass, I was talking about it really early on the post-game show. You have a 6-on-5 with the empty net. How does Colorado kill 20 seconds in the corner like that? Like,
how does someone not go jam in there and overload, not just kind of try to pull it out, tweak it out? Like you got to bump somebody in that situation. We call it can opener, slide your stick in. Doesn't matter if it breaks, it breaks. You got to get them off the puck. Yeah. I didn't like that effort there at the end. It wasn't well played. You got to find a way to get the puck loose. That being said, they're already down a goal. I mean, they didn't lose the game because of that. They lost the game because they turned the puck over at their own blue line or at the offensive blue line with an errant pass by Zach Hyman. So let's not freak out about it. But it wasn't good enough from a 6-on-5 standpoint. Yeah,
you could even hear Louis Boys on the broadcast. He's like, "Someone get in there."
They just sat there.
He's like, maybe it'll squirt out. Maybe it'll squirt out. Maybe it's gonna get like. Listen, sometimes for skill players, because you have your guys that are goal scoring players on at the end of the game. They're trying to. There's different ways, and people don't always necessarily understand that different players approach board battles and when pucks are tied up different ways.
Yep.
There's skill players that don't try to out-muscle people. They try to out-skill people, which means they're going to try to pull it, going to try to move the puck, going to kind of try to fish it out. And skill players generally try to do that. And then you have, dinosaurs like me and players that play on the more physical side where it's like, no, they're just going to try to overpower you and out-muscle you. But when a player has a puck that solidified and is just like, I'm going to pin this here and I'm not going to move and I'm not going to allow you to make a skill play on me, even your skill guys have to get in there and start moving the pile at the least. Because if you start moving the pile and pushing, the chances of that puck sliding, getting out from between his skates and maybe popping out gets higher. So no, it was not well executed. And that, again, they're not going to review this because they're going on vacation. Mm-hmm. But that would be, if we had a game in 2 days, that's probably a clip we're looking at.
Yeah.
From a coaching staff to say, hey, in this situation, when a player's set up like this, we have to engage physically with this guy. We can't be trying to fish it out. And it becomes a teaching point. So I get the frustration behind it because it wasn't well executed for that. Again,
no,
they were already down a goal. So they put themselves in a spot where they had to engage there and they didn't do it well.
Yeah. No desperation mode enabled on that one. And nope. Sums up kind of how things went tonight. All right, Hernan, do you have it all ready to go?
I sure do. Corey Perry, you got to give the old guy some love, right? Oh, and I just want to throw this in there from our stats guru, Brian Swain. Give me 2 shakes of a lamb's tail right here. Perry, oldest player in franchise history by nearly 2 years with a multi-goal game.
Really?
There you go.
Yeah, there you
go.
Who
did Swayner have? Who had the last? Him. Yeah, I want to say guesses? Who's an old fart that played? Ryan Smith. Smitty might have had a 2-goal game.
Old forward that played for the.
Kent Nilsson.
Kent Nilsson.
What do you got, Cass? You got to throw a name out there.
Oh,
Okay, I got the answer, but I'll let Cass answer first.
Yeah, I mean, Smitty was the one I was leaning towards. Other old guy. Trying to think of old guys that came in.
Well, yeah,
it's Ryan Smitty.
Yeah, he's got the highest likelihood of it being. I was trying to think of other really old guys that have been around.
That would have been able to provide some.
Been close, yeah. But we got
James
the answer,
Neal?
so we're good. Let's move on.
James Neal would have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, he would have been.
James was what, 33, 34?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, so still not that old.
Not that old, yeah. My guess. That's interesting. Oh, well, we got to the bottom of it. How old was Smitty? 36?
Yeah, I didn't. Let me find out.
Swinner.
See, run in on the nasty chat. Sam Gagne. That would have been a pretty good guess.
Yeah, that would have been a good guess.
Sam was, yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. Here's the oldest fart to score for the Oilers, a multi-point or multi-goal game. One of our mid-'80s babies, Corey Perry.
Where maybe some details slipped out of your game at certain times as a group, some individual mistakes too.
Yeah. And throughout the course of the season, you're going to have those ups and downs, and they capitalize on our mistakes. They're a pretty good hockey team over there. They got some pretty good players. So, this league's tough to. When you make a mistake, this league's tough to regroup and make up for it, because teams pounce on those pretty quick.
Corey, what are the takeaways from a night like this? Because you guys showed your battle level as well. Like that 5-on-3 kill in that third period looked like it really sparked the group. How do you kind of assess overall collectively tonight with that happened?
Well, I mean, there's two good teams playing up and down the ice, and the game was quick. There's a lot of penalties tonight. We did a heck of a job killing that 5-on-3. It gave some life into the building, and it was too bad we couldn't find that next one. That was what we were missing, and it's one of those nights.
Leon doesn't like talking about himself. Can you talk about him for us? It's pretty quick to 40 goals here. The season's really something goal scoring wise.
Yeah, it's he's got a knack, and he continues to find ways, and he's one of the best in the world for a reason, and he shows it each and every night.
One thing you hear from him and Connor often is like they've won some of these individual awards and scoring titles and such. In your time here, what's kind of your sense of these guys and their drive to win versus these individual awards? You've been part of all those chases as well yourself.
They want to win, and they're more upset about the result tonight than individual achievements. And you've been here a year now, and you can see the passion they have for the game. And it's individuals awards for them are nice, but they're chasing that big one, and everybody in here is as well.
You guys have proven you're very good at coming from behind, but when it's been 2-3 goals as often as it's been since kind of sort of January, like, is that exhausting after a while? Like, you're rolling the dice a bit too long?
Yeah, it's tough. All of a sudden, the big guys are playing 25, 26, 27 minutes because we're chasing the game early, and we've talked a little bit about having better starts, but this break probably came at a good time for us to regroup and take some time away from the game and come back refreshed.
Big picture question about Chris. Specifically tonight, Stu gets pulled after the first. Bush makes a mistake, misses a bit of time. We've seen him throughout the year, implement accountability within the group. Maybe just a thought, like in your experience, how important that is for the players to know that that's part of it, and for a coach to do those sorts of things at times. Yeah,
it's happened to everybody. At a certain point in their career, it's going to happen. You use it as motivation, and you do the right things, put it behind you, and move forward. I mean, it's only going to make you.
All right, that was Corey Perry. 2 goals for Perry on the night. 39-year-old, the pride of 85. Great year, in my opinion. Just saying. Just saying. He is a few months older than me, though, but continues to have a surprisingly good season. Obviously brought in for his leadership and his savvy. Great veteran. And you know what? He's been chipping in all up and down the lineup. So good on him. But Cass, some of the things that he said in regard to his team, the performance, and and maybe the timing of the break. You just kind of flat out said it, right? Like,
yeah, we said it. Great question. I believe that was there was our buddy Reid that asked that question.
Was.
Yep, certainly was. Which and I told him the other day, he asks great questions. I thought that was a good question, and we got a good answer from it too, and I think a very honest answer. And that, yeah, they've talked about it. Starts haven't been great. It is tough to be chasing games all the time, and they've managed to come back, and they've overall won a lot more games than they've lost. They've put themselves into first place in the division, and maybe it is time for a little bit of a break, and it is okay. It's good to say, yeah, maybe we needed a bit of a break, and we're going to be able to go out and get some rest, step away, separate a little bit, and come back into this thing refreshed, and you just hope that refreshed includes being ready to go at the drop of the puck, because it is, it's, I don't want to say this team has a ton of issues, because I don't think it's a ton of issues. They wouldn't be in first if they had a ton of them, but it is an issue and something that they need to improve on, because you don't want to have to ride those guys 25 minutes a night. So, yeah, I think a very honest answer there from veteran Corey Perry, the almost pride of 85, because Tom, that's you. You're the pride of 85.
That's why you're the best, Cass.
Boys,
just buttering you up.
Swain did send it in. So Smith was 37 years, 309 days. And Perry is now is 39, 267 days.
I was just looking at that. Yes. March 15th or something like that was his birthday. So, yeah. All right. Cass, let's take a look ahead. We got to go 2 weeks plus from now on the 22nd. The Oilers kick off a lengthy road trip. They go Philly, Washington, back-to-back nights. 11 a.m. start our time for that Philly game. 11 a.m. start our time for that Washington game on the Sunday. Then they go Tampa, 5:30 start Mountain on the Tuesday. They go Florida on Thursday, 5:30 Mountain start. Then we get into March, and we're looking at the trade deadline. And the Oilers wrap up this Eastern Conference road trip Saturday, 5 p.m. start in Carolina. How does this team want to come back? What will be the focus? Yeah. Give us, speed it up a couple of weeks and tell me where the Oilers are at and what they're trying to do to put together a good stretch drive.
Yeah, well, I think so much of the focus has to be on that first little stretch, like those first two games, really back-to-back, weird time coming out of a break. Like it's an odd situation, not typical, because your game days aren't going to be normal. So it's not like you're coming back in and able to get right into your normal routine. It's like the weird breakfast or pasta or what am I eating this morning type of routine. So it's going to be interesting. I think for them, I mean, it really is going to be, how can we start these games? And anytime coming out of a break, there's both teams are going to be rested for the most part, aside from the guys that are playing the Four Nations. But it's like, okay, well, who can show up with the least amount of rust? Because you're going to have a couple practices. You're going to be able to get your edges back a little bit, but it's just such an odd start time. So the focus really be, as it should be, is just on those first couple games. Now, beyond that, what I'm hoping for is that enough guys got enough vitamin D and enough sun where they're not like, yes, we're going to Florida. We can go sit on the beach on this trip and we're getting the sunshine. And I'm hoping that they, getting enough of that on the break that they're not like looking past those first two games to being able to go to Florida, that they're just able to focus on knocking it out of the park early, because you want to hit the ground running coming out of it. And whoever, if you look at that battle with Vegas, whoever comes out of the break better is just going to give themselves a much better chance at holding on to the lead in the division. And it will be a battle the whole way, but it starts with Philly and then with Washington at weird times.
Nothing like
breakfast.
Nothing like burping up omelet on the bench after a tough shift in the morning. Yeah. Nasty. Oh, baby. Cass, excellent stuff as always, my friend. Enjoy your weekend. Have a great Four Nations face-off. I know we'll see you in that time, but great work, and we'll talk to you in a bit.
Sounds good, boys. Have a good one.
There's our game analyst, Matt Kassian, with the breakdown brought to you by South Fort Chev. Check them out. www.southfortchev.com. We have Reid Wilkins standing by. I'm looking. Yeah, he's coming up right away here. We're going to get him all set up. In the meantime, I'm going to read some texts. Keep those coming in, 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat as well. Gazzola, Wilkins, Salas with you on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show. The Oilers falling 5-4 in a sloppy but entertaining game to the Colorado Avalanche. Nathan MacKinnon and Cale Makar. Point night for those two, especially MacKinnon. 4 points for Nathan MacKinnon. LFC captain texting in says the best move Bouchard made tonight was taking the penalties, making it 4-on-4. My man Tony from BP's Westgate, 170th and 90th Ave, says, Tommy, man, let's talk about the elephant in the room. I have to say anything. And 2, he is losing this team games. Makar shows what an elite D-man is. Tony from BP says, move out Bouchard. Get something while you can. That's Tony from BP's standpoint. Let's just put it that way. Great conversation with Tony about that the other night, and he is standing by that statement. Let's go to Jason. Let me clear my throat for this one. Piss poor performance, except for 3 to 4 players. Bouchard, horrible. That one from Jason. Good alliteration off the top. And then Jordan says, Klingberg did not look good versus the Avs speed. Burned many times. Jordan, good eye. Absolutely agree with you. And that's John Klingberg playing in what? Game number 5, I believe, for Klingberg, if I can get my notes up there. Yeah, John Klingberg is up to 5 games. No points still, +2 heading into action tonight. But, got burned on a couple of those ones. Let's bring him in. Reid Wilkins, host of the Reid Wilkins Show right here on Edmonton Sports Talk with Jay Milne. And Rick, Cass was giving you high praise for your questions to Corey Perry, pride of 85, and then on top of that, a lot of hate and anger and frustration, rightly so tonight, for Stu Skinner, Evan Bouchard, and even some tonight for Connor McDavid.
Okay, well, first of all, thanks to Cass for saying that. I like asking Corey Perry questions because he will give you a thoughtful answer.
Yes.
I remember I asked him that question after the loss to Minnesota, where I just said, did you guys muck it up in front tonight? Like, you can kind of be a little more conversational with him, and I think he will, as long as you're not rambling, he'll understand what you mean. And, I wanted to ask, like, it's cool they can come back, and I do think that's important. And I do think that that's a sign of a good team, but they're doing it almost every game. Maybe not almost every game, but they've had to do it a lot since the second week of January.
Yeah,
2-0, 3-0 in the first period, 4-2 in the second period today. End of the game in St. Louis the other night. So they've had some successful comebacks, probably more than many teams. I'm not sure what the whole comeback stat is for even allowing the first goal. But it's got to be exhausting after a while. And he said, okay, so then you have to play your big guys more, and then he didn't say all this, but then that throws off the rhythm of the rest of the lineup. And so, there is a toll on having to come from behind, even when you win. Now, I'll always take a win, even if you have to come from behind, and the Oilers can do it because they have a relentless, talented team. But I think that, it's catching up to them. I thought this was, first of all, I thought this was a very sloppy hockey game overall by both teams, quite frankly.
Yes.
There were numerous mistakes by both teams. There were numerous bad coverages by both teams. There were stupid penalties or lazy penalties by both teams. And quite frankly, there was below average or flat out bad goaltending by both teams, because I think Blackwood didn't look very good on a couple of goals as well. So I just think this was not a well-played hockey game, which makes it more entertaining, which means that there are 9 goals. So, I think that's important to point out. Like, I remember thinking at one point, who's going to do a better job at losing this game? And it turned out to be the Oilers, because they made the last big mistake in terms of the Hyman turnover, which he took responsibility for after the game. It was not a good game by Stuart Skinner. Now, I know the two guys who beat him were McKinnon and Makar, but those were not the best shots that we've seen by McKinnon and Makar. If one of those goes in, it happens. Like, as you know, Tom, I don't jump on every single goal against and try to pick it apart. Shots do beat goalies. But the fact that both went in and they were both very stoppable, that's why Knobloch, and he even said it in his post game that those were, I can't remember exactly how he put it, but he basically said those were stoppable shots. Mm-hmm. The third one is a great play. And quite frankly, to get back to the sloppiness, a terrible line change by New. I think it was Ekholm that left, and then Nurse is behind the play coming on. Nugent Hopkins doesn't realize he has to pick up that guy. And
Reid,
it's a great shot.
On that goal, too, it wasn't a skate to center ice and dump it deep. It was, if you recall, it was a flip up high into the air, and it kind of landed at the top of the zone. And then allowed the Avs to quickly headman the puck, and away they went on the odd man opportunity. I just wanted to point that out.
Well, and that's, I can't remember, it might have been Draisaitl that said it, either Draisaitl or Hyman, said something about the Oilers feeding their transition. And we've heard that phrase used around the NHL the last few years, right? Don't feed the other team's transition. What they're basically saying is don't turn the puck over in the neutral zone or around your own blue line, right? Like, make sure you get it through and into the other team's net, because otherwise you're allowing them to come right back quickly. So, you know, that third goal was a bad, like you said, Tom, bad clear, bad line change, and then a great pass and shot. So, yeah, I wasn't sure if Knobloch was going to pull him, because he's stuck with both guys when they have fallen behind in games recently, right? Yep. So, but he didn't like those two goals tonight. And then obviously they just, you know, they tie it. They get when they killed off that 2-man advantage, I thought they're winning the game. Right. I really thought they were winning the game, but then, you know, Hyman, who doesn't make a lot of mistakes, makes a mistake. Bouchard had a tough night. The turnover on the goal, the shorthanded goal, I like the text about the 4-on-4 penalty, because I said to you, well, this is like a power play for Edmonton. Yep. And they scored, even though it was Nugent Hopkins setting up. I mean, what a goal by Draisaitl! Like, what a way to get 40! An amazing goal to get his own rebound and flip it up high. And also, as much as there were, I thought, why call that a 4-on-4? First of all, like, this is,
you have the hold, and then
why call both hooking and holding the stick? Yeah, why not just yell at both guys and say, let them go? Yeah, or just go up to the guys after the play and say, like, look, like, keep your stick out of there, keep your arm off the stick.
Can I tell you why they call both? Because these refs are still spooked, and they're gun shy, they're trigger happy, they're all of the above. Like, they are so in their own heads. That's why. And it's, anyway, continue.
Yeah, but I mean, not that I'm going to make this about the reffing, but that was one instance that I thought was a little strange as well. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, I really think the story for me is it was a game, at times, both teams looked like they were trying hard to lose, and the Oilers did a better job. And
did they ever?
You know, if you look at the big players on the team, if you want to say it's now McKinnon, Makar, and Necas, and it's McDavid, Draisaitl, and Bouchard, their top three players outplayed Edmonton's top three players. Even though, to be quite frank with you, now I don't watch the opposition as closely as I watch the Oilers. Like, I didn't notice Necas a ton. You know, maybe someone can evaluate his game better than I can who's listening tonight, but then he got the game-winning goal. But McKinnon was excellent. And
Lehkonen was great.
Actually, yeah, Lehkonen's a good player. I really, well, didn't we see him a lot in the All-Canadian division? I think that's when I really started to appreciate him. Yeah, because then they traded him to Colorado to help Colorado win the Cup.
That's right.
Yeah, he was good. And Makar was pretty good. Like, I
thought he was good.
I thought he was pretty good. I wouldn't say he was awesome. Like, McKinnon was very good. So, yeah, their big guys outplayed Edmonton's big guys. Skinner was the sloppier of the two starters. Like, again, though, I don't think it was a banner game for Blackwood. Nope. And, you know, Colorado gets the win.
780-218-9999. I'm going to rattle off a few, and then we're going to get Reid's thoughts on the Oilers through 55 games. Nolan from St. Albert saying, might be time to get off of Bouchard, capitalize on a desperate team, willing to pay up if possible. Goaltending non-existent. People can defend Skinner all they want, but the difference between a good goaltender and a bad goaltender is consistency. There are nights where Skinner looks fantastic, but most of the time he doesn't. Consistency, he doesn't have it, and that's why he's a poor goaltender. 17-7-3 since November 9th, Reid, and I think he's got a 909 save percentage and 249 GAA in that time. So, I mean, people are all over him, but they're not getting a new goalie. I know that for a fact. Troll texting in says, Draisaitl is the best player in the world right now. We should be grateful to be watching a player like him every game. For years, I really hope the guys who've been coasting all year will ramp up after the breaks so they're hitting their stride when the playoffs start. And then this one says, seems like every time Oilers fail to get the puck out of their zone, they get hemmed in and give the opposing team a 1 or 2 or 3 scoring opportunities. It was constant in the playoffs last year as well. Jay texting and says, hey guys, my first game at Rogers this year, entertaining game. Thought the addition of Necas gave Colorado a different look. However, given a playoff series, I think the Oilers are all over the Avs defense. Hey, Edmonton did win the season series against Colorado 2-1, and even though they played super sloppy, almost pulled this one out as well. Riedrich, 55 games into the season, the Oilers sit atop the Pacific Division. They will finish atop the Pacific Division after games tomorrow, because whether or not the Vegas Golden Knights win, they will, if the Vegas Golden Knights win tomorrow against Boston, they will tie Edmonton for 72 points. However, it would have taken them one extra game, so that will give the Oilers the tiebreaker. 34-17-4, Edmonton with a plus 30 goal differential. What do you make of these first 55 games of the year for the Edmonton Oilers?
Well, that's 2/3 of the season. I mean, I'm going to say the same thing I've been saying for a while. They have a very good team. Like they have a very, very good team. Yes, there are flaws. Yes, there are players you wish were doing better. But I think I agree with that texter who said that Draisaitl is the best player in the world right now. I think that he is, even though McKinnon leads the league in scoring and was very good tonight. Now, maybe I'm a little biased because I see Draisaitl more. So, worst case scenario, Draisaitl's third, because Jets fans would probably say, what about Hellebuck? And Colorado fans would say McKinnon. So, yes, we are lucky to be watching Draisaitl this season. I say this again, despite some of the bad nights and despite some performances, either season-wide or individual game-wise, that might leave observers wanting a little more, the Oilers still win far more often than not, and when they lose, they still almost win. So the game against the Leafs wasn't that great. They almost pulled it out. Even tonight, they almost pulled it out. The PK had allowed goals on 5 consecutive kills, and then put it together for the rest of this game and still gave them a chance to win. So I think it's a combination of talent and experience and relentlessness that has this team in the top. Are they still third overall? I think they would be.
I'll verify that for you right now.
Fourth, I guess. So yeah, it's a very, very good team, and now it's just, can they maintain this points percentage to hold off Vegas, and what are they going to add at the deadline? I'm with you, Tom. I don't think they're going to change the goaltending tandem.
No.
And I don't think Bouchard would be moved. I think if Bouchard leaves the Edmonton Oilers under any circumstances, it would not happen until the offseason. And I still think that that's an if.
Yeah.
Because again, everybody, John Klingberg is not ready to replace Evan Bouchard. I think that is clear for how he's played for 5 games. We'll see how he plays the next dozen or so, but I still don't think that's what the Oilers see happening, certainly in the short term for sure. So yeah, I mean, again, like even these, Even these, yeah, that's right, Hernan. Thanks. But like even these last 5 games haven't been great. Well, they still went 2-2-1. You know, that's hopefully that's a lull for this team. Whereas bad teams go 0-4-1 or 1-5 when they play 5
or 3-2, 1
games or whatever. So I keep pounding away. Hopefully, come back a little rested after the break, which other teams will be as well. But keep banking points and building towards the postseason.
Reid, I can say this with certainty that you are skilled, experienced, and relentless. That's why you're the best in the league.
Well, that's quite a compliment, Tom. Thank you. It sounds like you're trying to get me to go, so thank you for having me. Hernan, thank you for having me as well. You guys are both awesome.
Get the hell out of here, Reid.
See you
Go
Sunday.
have a great weekend.
All right.
See you Sunday. There you go. Reid Wilkins, host of the Reid Wilkins Show. Always awesome stuff from Riedrich and great questions in the room. And that's our boy. That's why we love him. Check out his show, 3 to 6, Monday to Friday with Jay Milne. The boys are cooking. So too is Joaquin and Hernan on EST afternoons. We just have absolutely awesome programming, 6 to 6. And then on game days, we get the pre and post game show. And then in the summer, we've got the Elks green and gold kickoff and post game show as well. So the content here on our station absolutely kick ass. And I'm 100% completely biased, and I don't give a you know what. 780-218-9999. We're going to get to Hernan's player of the game, brought to you by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Damon Bunting, consistent, top producing, great Edmonton real estate agent in the area for over 17 years. He and his team always willing to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. And he is community driven, and he does understand what it takes to make a difference in our city. So check him out, DamonBunting.com. Visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Damon Bunting now with the agency. Hernan Salas.
Yeah, it's a pretty easy one tonight. Cale Makar, absolutely outstanding. 2 goals, 1 assist. The one was shorthanded, right? Yeah. Plus 2 on the night. 29-11. 6 shots, 2 blocks. What a player. The local product. He's from Edmonton, right? Yeah. Or just on the...
he's Calgary area.
Oh, I thought
Makar.
He was more closer to Edmonton. Anyways, you get what I'm saying.
I think he's like Olds.
Cale Makar, player, Damon Bunting, player of the game for the agency. He was absolutely fantastic, and now I get why Gager says he'd pick him over McDavid if he was starting.
Oh wow!
I wouldn't, but
Makar from Calgary, by the way.
Okay,
played for Brooks in the AJ.
Yeah, I got to meet him at 1260. He came in to do the pipeline show with our buddy Guy Flaming when he was just a kid. Yeah, not a kid, but you know what I mean. He was playing in the AJ, and who knew then that he would be this stud of a defenseman?
Well, Guy Flaming knew. That's why the pipeline show's been going for 2 decades. And you can catch it tomorrow at noon following Hello Hockey with myself and Sean Bell.
Nice. Look at that.
We'll have Dave Pagnotta on as well as Derek Wills because the Flames are playing against the Seattle Kraken. The Flames putting together a surprisingly rambunctious and tenacious season, staying in the mix in the Western Conference playoff picture. So Cale Makar is your Damon Bunting Real Estate Player of the Game?
Yes, it is.
Very
That's
nice.
Correct.
From the agency.
I know we got to get going here. Tommy, it's we're getting a nice 2-week break from the evening shifts. It's going to be fun. 4 Nations is going to be awesome. Our boy Carmen Gill, who's very...
tenacious himself.
Tenacious and passionate about the Edmonton.
Passionate, very good.
And I've seen all his messages. I just want to say, Carmen, like the Oilers don't need to address top 6, bottom 6, top 4 defense, and bottom pair, and a goalie. Like Reid said, this is a good team. Like they're gonna add, but it's probably gonna be 1 or 2 players, but not elite. Not the elite of the elite. Like we have to be realistic here, guys. There's a lot of pieces here, Tom. Like this is not a team that's going out to getting 4 or 5 pieces at the trade deadline.
That is correct. What you just said.
So Carmen, I know you're passionate. We love your commitment. We love you that you tune into us. And
input.
It's going to be okay. And I like following you on Twitter because you he must listen to every show in the city because he has all the updates.
Carmen takes in a lot of content. He's all over it.
And sometimes I don't even know. I'm like,
understatement.
Thanks for that. But yeah, let's just chill. There will be moves made. In the last one, he asked about Klimberg. I think he's been good. I don't think he's been outstanding. I don't think the Oilers are like, okay, we're good. We're not going to make a move. I think we need to see him more. I thought someone brought it up to you, Tom, on the inbox. Yeah, he struggled tonight with the speed. And that's a concern now. He's only in his 5th game. Could he improve? Yes. But right now, I think the positives are he moves the puck damn well. That's really good. He's got a good vision, good hockey sense, but the most important part is the defensive part, and I think we need to see more. I think it's fair to say he's been good.
Yeah, he's already an upgrade over Stetcher, and that makes the Oilers a better team. Good start. And it's going to take time. He has missed over a calendar year of hockey, and he had a surgery on both of his hips, and he needs to get up to game speed. And I'll just add one more thing. Like, the Oilers are 3rd place in the National Hockey League. Yes. They've beaten some of the best. They've struggled against some of the best. Only 2, like tonight, where the Oilers shot themselves in the foot, and the Avs superstars, feasted. Fully acknowledging that. You didn't get a save from Stu Skinner when you needed a save from Stu Skinner. Fully acknowledge that. The other game that I thought of where the Oilers kind of got outmatched was the Florida Panthers game, where they kind of got outmuscled. And that was the only one where I was like, boy, the Oilers have some work to do. But for the most part, they're in pretty much every game. Have they pissed away some games? Yeah. Have they pissed away starts, especially recently? 100%. But they find a way to claw back in. They don't seem to get down when they're deflated, when they're down in games like they used to in years past. There's some resolve on this team, and do I think that they could use and will use a piece or two to make them better? Yep, a defenseman and a depth forward. And don't get your hopes up for a goalie. Don't get your hopes up for a superstar forward. I think this team thinks for the most part they have it in the room. It's just a matter of getting it all in sync again, because when they're all clicking, it's a pretty damn good team.
Yeah. And every team, and Vegas does it, Florida does it, they all upgrade at the deadline. And like I said, I think the Oilers will. I think it's going to be 1 or 2 players. I think for the bottom half of the lineup, which is still good, it's still a big part of the team, Tom. Because and again, I'll reiterate what Reid says, and a lot of us say this team is 3rd in the NHL. They're a damn good hockey team when they want to be.
Yep.
That's the frustrating part, is that sometimes they're a little loose. And we've seen what's happened this week, some overtime games and a loss tonight. So nonetheless, enjoy the break, everyone. 4 Nations. It's going to be great to see Connor, hopefully with Sidney Crosby, Nathan McKinnon, tearing it up for Team Canada. And we'll see you Sunday at the Century Casino Fort Road. And, of course, next week, the Fun Spiel, Tom.
Oh, the Fun Spiel. It's going to be great. Century Casino. If you're coming down about 3:30 to 4, they're telling us to arrive. And great food and drink specials, lots of giveaways, lots of prizes. Hey, I don't usually do this, but we're 2 away from changing 100 on the post-game show, which is nice. We've been doing that a lot lately. So there's still a lot of people watching right now. Hit that thumbs up for us. We appreciate it so very much. We're going to be off the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pre- and post-game show until that game in Philadelphia on, what is it, the 22nd? It's an early start, 11 a.m. So until then, for Hernan and Cass and Reid, I'm Tom saying thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Have a great rest of your night. Enjoy your weekend. Join us on Hello Hockey tomorrow, 10 o'clock. We're live at the Summit at Silent Ice Center. Take care, everybody. The Oilers fall 5-4. Sloppy. They're on their break. Let's see if they come back refreshed, recharged, and so will we. Ciao for now.